welcome to this explainer. You know that feeling, right? You're sitting there, you've got 3 different ideas open in 3 different browser tabs, and there's just this knot in your stomach. Because sure, any one of those ideas could absolutely be the one that works. But on the flip side, any one of them could also quietly consume 6 months of your life, completely drain your savings, and exhaust your team, only for the market to finally turn around and say, yeah, nobody actually wanted this. With the AI coding tools we have today, shipping software is literally easier than ever. Building isn't the hard part anymore. The hard part is conviction. It's knowing exactly what actually deserves your time. And yet so many founders are still out there relying on a mix of gut feelings, friendly chats, and some overly optimistic spreadsheets. Guys, that's not a strategy. That is just hope wearing a blazer. So today, we're unpacking a really fascinating solution to this exact problem, a local-first AI tool called IdeaClyst. Okay, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and face a really hard truth. The stakes we are talking about are absolutely not theoretical. Industry estimates for 2026 suggest that building the wrong thing for 6 to 12 months wastes a staggering $150,000. And that's once you bake in the engineering, the design, and the massive lost opportunity costs. Look, even if you are a super lean, solo founder, you are still looking at burning around $35,000. Plus, doing it the old school way, sending out surveys, doing months of customer research, can cost tens of thousands of dollars on its own. It's brutal. So why do so many of these ventures tank? Well, CB Insights ran the numbers, and a massive 42% of startup failures trace back to one incredibly simple root cause. There was no market need. Not a toxic team culture, not running out of cash first, but simply building a product that the market completely ignored. Discovering that lack of demand the hard way is just a punishing experience. So, here is our roadmap for how we're going to tackle this. We'll look at the cost of bad ideas, introduce you to your AI counsel, see why real research matters, dive into discovering the right market, spend a Tuesday in the war room, and finally chart the path to conviction. Let's get into it. Section 1. The cost of bad ideas. Moving beyond the mirror. Think about it. Describing your brilliant new idea to a standard AI chatbot is honestly a total trap. A founder on a popular SaaS forum actually hit the nail on the head recently. They pointed out that getting a chatbot to tell you, wow, great concept with strong market potential, isn't validation. It's just getting a gold star from something that is fundamentally programmed to please you, right? A tool that only agrees with you is worth exactly what a mirror is worth. IdeaClyst's entire architecture is built to combat that exact problem. It takes that mirror and replaces it with a counsel that is specifically designed to argue with you on purpose. Which brings us to Section 2. Meet your AI counsel. Deliberation over agreement. When you feed IdeaClyst a rough, half-baked concept, it does not just spit back one confident, happy answer. Instead, it literally convenes a council. It kicks off this rigorous 5-step deliberation process where different models play different roles. Step 1 figures out the product strategy and your wedge. Step 2 maps out the technical architecture and the risks. But Step 3 is where the magic happens. It's a critique pass where the council actually attacks its own work to root out all those unproven assumptions. Then, Step 4 does a second, totally independent critique, just to catch any lingering blind spots. Finally, Step 5 takes all of that arguing and synthesizes it into one coherent founder packet. The disagreement itself is the main feature here. Now here is the absolute kicker: privacy. This isn't just some boring technical footnote. If you're a builder, this is everything. IdeaClyst runs entirely on your own machine under an open-source MIT license. That means no cloud accounts, no API keys you have to paste in, and 0 subscription fees. Every single report, plan, and critique is written straight to your own hard drive as a plain markdown file. Your earliest, rawest, and most valuable ideas, both the gold mines and the graveyards, never actually leave your laptop. Moving on to Section 3, grounded in real research, receipts over vibes. We've all seen standard language models confidently hallucinate that a market is growing rapidly based on absolutely nothing but memory and instinct, right? Well, IdeaClyst throws out those model vibes and insists on real research. It operates in a super strict real data-only mode. It goes on Open's real competitor sites, it reads genuine pricing signals, and it scans live web discussions. And if it can't find genuine evidence, it straight up refuses to fabricate statistics. It'll just tell you plainly that the data isn't there. Because it provides its validation evidence with actual clickable links, the final packet gives you hard receipts, things you can actually verify with your co-founders or your investors. Section 4. Discovering the right market. Beating the blank page. Okay, but evaluating an idea is really only half the battle. Think about the dreaded blank page. You know those days when you have the energy, you have the capacity to build, but you just lack an idea that's actually worth your time? IdeaClyst has a discovery mode that brilliantly inverts the entire tool. Instead of bringing it a specific idea, you just give it a broad space, like, say, Vision OS apps or AI for accountants. You feed in your goals and what you can realistically build, and it goes hunting for real demand signals. It scours Hacker News complaints, Reddit wishlists, and product hunt trends to give you an honest read of the market. And it'll lead with the bad news if a space is just too crowded, rather than just feeding you a bunch of empty buzzwords. What you get back is essentially a personalized opportunity map. It ranks candidate ideas and it tailors them to an optional founder profile that factors in your unique skills and unfair advantages. You get the candidate idea, the wedge, the required build effort, and a confidence score. But the most important part is the kill criteria. It explicitly spells out the exact conditions under which you should just walk away. It's entirely designed to make getting to a no incredibly fast and incredibly cheap. Let's put this into practice. Section 5. Tuesday in the war room, from blank page to validated plan. So picture a random Tuesday. You've got the energy, but no committed project. At 1 p.m., you run a discovery on, let's say, back office tools for boutique fitness studios. 20 minutes later, you're reviewing 7 ranked candidates and you spot one with a really sharp wedge and a build effort you can tackle solo. Boom. At 1:30, you promote that idea to the council and go grab a coffee. By 2 p.m., you're sitting down to review a complete founder packet packed with live research, sharp positioning, and concrete mitigations for retention risks. By Friday, you're making a go or no-go decision based on actual, verifiable signals, and you did all of that without writing a single line of code or wasting an entire financial quarter. And finally, Section 6, the path to conviction, from interesting to ready to build. Because look, a brilliant plan is completely useless if it just dies in a browser tab you never open again. IdeaClyst provides a dedicated workspace and an inspectable decision log, so you never forget the actual why behind your choices. It bridges the huge gap from a raw sentence to a fully scoped product requirements document. It gives you a validation sprint board, an evidence browser to audit the claims, and it even generates a task queue that you can hand straight off to a coding agent or a roadmap tool. It literally carries your winning ideas all the way to the starting line. Ultimately, the absolute most valuable thing a tool can do is talk you out of the wrong 6 months. IdeaClyst earns its keep by delivering a rapid speed of conviction and avoiding massive, painful waste. It replaces the expensive false confidence of the blank page with a rigorous process, actual evidence, and a concrete plan. Which leaves us with one vital question to ponder before you go and open up your next browser tab. Will your next 6 months be driven by blind hope or by undeniable evidence?